All right. Yes. Yes. I know what some are gonna say. Yeah, I should have never just hopped into it. I probably missed a wave or something like that. For the dating, the peak of dating apps. But mans was dating at the time, so I had no reason to be on the apps. If you dig what I'm saying. But I'm gonna just talk about my experience and maybe some things I've noticed. Also from some, I don't want to say advice, but things I've noticed, and maybe some advice. Maybe some advice. I probably can give some advice. It's almost okay. I don't know what happened there, but I've looked at other videos about other people's dating experience on dating apps, and it did open my eyes to some things. And the first thing I'm gonna talk about in this little yap session is the intentions on the app. Now, I'm not gonna say I'm any type of angel or anything, but like most guys, you just bored, you want a little action or something like that. At least that was my intentions. I know some people get on the apps and they actually want to get married or actually do get married and stuff like that and everything. But for me, it wasn't even that type of thing for me because I was already in something before, and I had just got out of something and wanted to, I don't know, see what was out there, if you dig what I'm saying. For the most part, for the grand majority of guys, at least from what I've seen on the apps, for guys is most of the time because they want a little action or something like that, and they want to they want to get a little action. A lot of times, what I see on the apps when I was on there, most of the women on there, they have these long paragraphs of stuff they want from a man, and everything, and all that stuff. You gotta have X, Y, Z. You gotta do X, Y, Z. From one video I've watched, I might put it up on the screen. I might link it or something like that. I can sit here. I can pick it up. Never mind. Being a jester, a meme that people kept using, like being on dating apps, is just like being a jester. At least for guys, it's just like, hey, look at me. I can entertain you. I'm a good guy. I'm a cool guy. Look at these pictures. And some people would, like, a lot of people say you only get a synopsis of what a person is just from a few pictures. I mean, yeah, they can put a little prompt down there and say like, oh, I'm chill, I'm cool, I'm 6'5", I'm 5'5", I got this type of job, stuff like that, but it doesn't really show who you really are. Which I guess back in, I don't want to say the old days, but back in, around the pandemic, it was just like, shit, I just want to get out and see people or something like that. And since we can't go out, might as well just be on the apps, and maybe I get to meet somebody when we get out of this situation and stuff like that. But now that people go out nowadays and they see more people, it's just, I don't know. Some people might just be unsure. What the heck? I didn't know this was like this at first. This is a new update. But a lot of people are unsure and stuff like that. It's just like the people are not too serious on the apps and stuff like that. Like even with the women. Now also for the men, at least from the woman's side, from my experience, a lot of times I was talking to women and stuff like that. I would have genuine conversations and stuff like that. But a lot of them was just like, they don't, at least they'll either put it in their bio or they'll say it to me like, man, there's a lot of creeps on here. I had like 3 dudes already asking me to pull up to their house or something like that. And it's just like, I guess those are the dudes that are left on there. Not saying it's not good dudes, because I mean, not saying I'm just the best dude in the world, but I am not even comfortable first day just you pull up to the spot, like, jeez. I mean, but also some dudes just immediately trying to get the rocks off, and it's creeps that are just on there and they are just like, ooh, I like them fat, bean bags or some bull crap like that. It's like, geez, my guy, like, slow it down. Dudes be such a horn bag sometimes. But even with the women on there, some on there just like, what's your job? I mean, of course, if they're dating, depending on if they're looking for a husband or something like that, but some are on there just like already asking what's your occupation in the first 5 seconds and stuff like that, and everything, barely end the conversation, or it's just like not really even, I don't know, looking for a bag sometimes, but I don't know. Yeah. And I think when you're on them apps, you gotta have, I don't want to say you have to have the right intentions. Hold on, who the freak is Oscar? But yeah, I don't know, like the intentions on there just like, I don't know, they display it, but also depends on the app too. Like if you're on Bumble Premium, it's only premium on there, man. You gotta have the best job, or making the best money, you gotta have the best pictures, you damn near gotta be a model on Bumble. Then stuff like Facebook dating app, these are the only two I've had. Facebook dating app, I don't know, maybe it's just the algorithm or something like that, but it's a lot of mothers and stuff like that on there, or just, I don't know, I don't want to say too much, like too vulgar of things, but wasn't as up to par on what you call it, and as on Bumble. I've heard of Hinge and stuff like that. It seems like there's a lot of success on Hinge, but also a lot of just like, I don't know, a lot of, how do I say the word? I want to say a lot of commitment issue type stuff, or like blurred lines on Hinge. At least from what I hear from others, because people will be on Hinge like, oh yeah, I found my wife and my husband, but then it'll be like, bro, I went on like 20 dates and all the girls were this, or all the guys are weird, or something like that, and it's just like, you don't really know nobody's intentions. But I don't know. The people who are left on the dating apps now are a little off, in my opinion. They got niggas long as hell. Where the hell is? But yeah, it seemed like those are the people who are left on there. The people who are left on there are just people who just, they can't find it out in the real world, if that makes sense. And also, as far as the dating app, when you meet people, everybody also, of course, people put on the show or something like that, but these pictures are not the best all the time. They don't show the accurate person. I know a few times I went out and I was like, oh, they put the best on the picture, but when you get to see the person, not saying anybody's ugly or anything, not that, but like, when you talk to them, you probably have a certain perception in your mind how they're going to be when you meet them. Like when you're looking at the text and all that, you're probably putting a certain voice in your head, but when you see them, it's a whole different thing. It's just like, and to keep going through people, it's just like, it's kind of weird. And I don't know, maybe just if it's just me, I did it probably like 2, maybe 3 times, and I was just like, I don't think I can keep doing this, because it's just gonna feel hopeless and endless. Even though I don't want to give up or nothing like that, but I just don't think. Oh, for me, it's just not the way to go, because I'm more of a person, and I'm more of an in-person person, and I'd rather let somebody, I'd rather somebody kind of already see me and see my mannerisms and stuff like that before I even think about already. Oh, Jesus Christ. Think about already dating, if that makes sense. Like, say if, I gotta go to the spot. Say if there's like already, if there's a girl that works at the job or out and about or something like that. Now, I'm not the guy who just always pulling up on women or nothing like that. I did not know I can go up here. I'm not the guy who's always pulling up on women or nothing like that. Most of the time, it's always like, hey, what you call it, likes you. Hey, I got a friend for you or something like that, and everything. But even then, it might just be like, that's probably like dating apps. Before dating apps, so you got a friend that says, "Oh, this girl thinks you're cute. This guy thinks you're cute. You should talk to him," or something like that. And that's a little bit better for you, at least in my opinion, because you got a recommendation, like a job. Like, hey, I trust Tom. Tom says Tim is pretty good at it. Gonna be pretty good at the job. Bring Tim in. Just like, you got a friend or something like that. She's like, hey, I know Melissa or something like that. And then, you kind of cool with Tanya, and Tanya says, hey, I know Melissa. She kind of, she like you. I'm like, all right. Rather than on a dating app, it's just like, you've never known this person at all. Maybe y'all texted or something like that, and even maybe one time y'all call. I think even a FaceTime call is a little bit better, because at least then you can already see, a little bit better who you gon' get in contact with, or you may see on a date or something like that, rather than just text and then go straight to a date. Which is nothing wrong with that, but it's just like, if you already seen the person before, or have a glimpse, like if you're at work, I kind of, John is kind of cool. I might go on a date with him. Not saying I'm going on a date with John. I'm just saying, like, if I'm a girl, like, John's kind of, what? I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to put this back in me mode. Lisa, Lisa is kind of cool. You know what? I might ask her out. We always have good conversations. But also that could make a little bit of tension, say if you're working or something like that. And all of a sudden, you ask Lisa out, which has happened to me, and Lisa just like, now it's tension the whole time, because you ask Lisa out and Lisa doesn't want to date you, and now she dating, you seen her talking to freaking Philip or some bullshit. Now you're just like, oh shit. So I can see on that. But yeah, with the dating apps, I don't know. I have friends and stuff that just already told me not to do it because it just kept saying it was stupid. For some reason. I always wonder, like, what's so stupid about it? And I probably should have said this in the beginning of the video. But yeah, this is I was like, what's so stupid about it? I decided to try myself, once my situation had went where it went. I was like, let's see what this is about. I wouldn't say it's stupid, it's just you have to have the right intentions when you go on these apps. Especially if you're a guy, you have to have the same intentions as the woman, and I don't know, you gotta be the ultimate man almost for this, because you are not the prize. The women on the prize are the prize on there, because there's 100 men for every one woman on these apps, and the women have to pick of the litter. Rather you being a dude and you're lucky if one woman talks to you, which it depends on the apps and stuff like that, and the person. If you're a model as a dude, you probably get somewhat of the woman's treatment on there, where you got a bunch of women. If you got good pictures, and you actually have quality pictures on there, you can have the woman experience other things else. But even at that end, you could still have the woman experience of not every woman you come across is your type or your quality or something like that, and now you're doing the weeding out and sorts. So yeah. But if you're a guy, you're probably banking on you just trying to get whatever comes your way, and everything, and just trying to grab anything that comes your way. Like, you just trying to grasp it, hold it, get it quick as possible, because no guarantee. Shawty got like 30 other guys she could have dated today or went on a date today with, and you're just like, oh, lucky me, something like that. But like I said, it's always dependent on the person. My experience, it's like, if you're consistent enough talking to somebody or they like you can end up on a date or something like that, and it can, go further. I don't know. I guess with the friends I had or the people that told me what they had going on, their experience just like saying it was stupid. It's just cause like they're on a dating app, and I'm not saying the people I know are just butt ugly or nothing like that, or ugly at all. It's just that they might get the bottom of the barrel because as men, because the women on there are seeing top-notch stuff. Not even top. I don't even want to say it like that, but like they seeing stuff that catches their eye, like a scroll on a jackpot or something like that. Every swipe almost, or every few swipes, and they get to like jump on it, instantly and everything, because they are just because I have the pick of the litter, and they're responding like if they're just that beautiful. A 10 out of 10 is gonna have about 100, 200 guys trying to talk to her at one time. And then she gets to pick. Rather than if you're like a bottom of the barrel. I don't want to say it like that, but if you're not that attractive, sadly, because I ain't saying I'm a fucking 10 at all. But if you not like a 10 or nothing like that, the resource, the things that's gonna come your way is not gonna be, always either what you want or something like that. So you might settle for something a little bit lower. The women's standard on there, if they get 100 dudes, they're gonna have a higher standard. Like I've heard in some videos, if you got 100 dudes, you're gonna think you're fucking Beyonce. You got 200 dudes trying to talk to you, you're gonna think you're Beyonce. Rather than if you're a dude, you only got like 10 girls that liked you on Bumble, or fucking like 5 girls that liked you on Bumble, and you swiped on like 200, you can be like, well, goddamn, I guess I gotta pick out of these. And if you're a woman, the same thing. You're like, I guess I gotta pick out of these guys. I only got like fucking 5 that liked me or something like that. So yeah. And also, I guess, okay, well, my experience been not the hottest guy ever. I mean, I had some little stuff I thought was kind of nice on there. Some of them just never went through, but the ones I did like, I just had to have a really be in a certain space to be of quality, to be accepted, to even get a date. And that's where the dating apps come, a little differently, where you gotta already be perfect to get a date, to talk for real. And people can just ghost off rip, rather than if you're at work and Tom and then Chelsea, or Tom likes Chelsea or something like that. I can just talk to Chelsea and be like, you know what? Chelsea works at the same place I'm at. Not saying her situation is any better, not saying it's either any worse, but the same as I'm at, situation. If she still wants to go on a date, she can go on. We can go on a date or something like that. But even all social media, you got Chelsea who got like 30 dudes in her DM and rappers in the DM, and it's just like, why would I talk to Tom if a rapper is in my DMs right now, rather than back in the days like I don't know any rappers. I live in a small town in Oklahoma. I only know Tom is the hottest guy I know, or Tom is one of the hottest guys I know. If that makes sense. Tom is one of the chillest guys I know. I'll date Tom, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just getting a little harder out here, just with the dating apps and stuff like that. But trying to think of more points I'm going to touch on. I'm not going to say the same thing happened to me as the other ones, but also what others experience, it made me want to try it out, because I'm like, oh, if they can get that, I think I'm a pretty cool person, maybe I can get that same treatment. But like I said, with your intentions and stuff like that, I had certain intentions, but even with those intentions, I'm a certain type of person where I can't just like up and how you doing, come back to the spot off rip and stuff like that, no matter what you look like and everything. Like, I don't know, I can't talk to you and know that you're rude and still be like, yeah, I'm still gonna, go through this. was like, nah, I just couldn't. Even though that could have happened a few times, like it's been some times where I was like, I don't like this person. Like something's wrong with them, and still could have like, hey, come over or let's go on a date. Nah, couldn't do it. But for some on those dating apps, it's just like whatever, well, you know. And they got a Rolodex of men or women that they just rotating through, which, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, my experience is just like, and then you get addicted to like what, who liked you on there. Oh, I got a new like I deleted Bumble and stuff like that because I wasn't about to pay any money for that shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. Even though I could pay for it and then find my wife or something like that, or find a new girlfriend, or not a new girlfriend, but find a girlfriend. Like, oh yeah, like her and stuff. But like I said, I'd rather meet somebody and then engage it off the real time interactions rather than and with the competition. Like it might not be as good for a guy to say, but I'm not with the competitive thing for real. If I know one of the girls I'm talking to on Bumble, if I'm talking to a girl in real life and we're at the job, maybe I might, if I see like 3 dudes already talk to her, I have a good synopsis, be like, nah, I'm good, something like that. Or if she, but I can still try to talk to her, and if we got a better connection than they do, maybe I might be the pick. But with the dating apps, you be like, ooh, I like this girl, talking to her the whole time and then get ghosted because the competition. You never know. At least in real life, if you see the competition or something like that, or you see like, you know, how things are going, you can kind of gauge if you want to hop in there or not. If you want to try your luck and get real time interaction. Like a quick rejection just like that, you know, like, hey, I'm trying to go on a date. They can say yes or no and then it be done. I mean, of course games can still be played in that moment and stuff like that. Like, oh, after the moment, it's like, oh, y'all go on a date, she still don't like you, or you know, y'all go on a date, y'all fooling around for a little bit, then you trying to get serious, they trying to get serious, but still people still playing games. At least with then, you can kind of, like I said, you can still try to get that real-time reaction and stuff like that, rather than on the app talking to a person for a week texting and then all of a sudden there's a ghost. You just get ghosted, which I ain't gonna lie, I've done a few times, and it's like, damn, you probably was building up a rapport, you wasted all this time with this person, but also you might be talking to like 10 different people. I don't know, but yeah, it's just the apps. I'm not gonna say they're just bad. But saying that as a guy, I say it for the guy's perspective, you are a needle in a haystack. Well, no. Yeah. I think that's the saying. Trying to find a needle in a haystack. You are the needle in the haystack. And sometimes you just won't get picked. You won't get found. I mean, it is what it is, but rather you being a needle in a haystack on an app, I think it sometimes is better when you are a needle in, I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Needle in a plate of food. You take a bite, you're gonna feel it. Hopefully, that probably not a good analogy. You get what I'm saying. You don't have to be this. You don't have to be this. You are found. You're right there. You'll see it right then and there. With the girl in front of you. Granted, like I said, the dating apps and the social media's got people's minds skewed. At least the women. I think it's a little bit better because you're gonna have a better chance rather than, maybe not a better chance than the rapper who's texting her on social media, but you definitely got a better chance than the random guy on social media who's trying to talk to her and you're in front of her right then and there. You can literally feel the connection right there while talking to the person, talking to the woman, talking to the guy, whoever you're talking to, and everything like that. But yeah, I don't know. That's my take on that. At least with the dating apps, my experience and everything. I just feel like a connection, a real-time connection, a little bit better. And granted, you're gonna have to pick up the reps if you're trying to be Mr. Pickup Artist. I see a lot of dudes on Instagram and stuff like that doing some of this pickup line stuff. I don't want to say or not, but like I said, the way sometimes I get to talk to some girls is they have a friend, there's a friend of a friend or something like that, or it's a recommendation, maybe a family, it's always, for me at least, it's always a friend of a friend. Oh, she likes you, you got a girlfriend, I know this girl, it's always something like that and stuff like that. So you could find your way like that. If you just a social person and you're always somewhere, you can definitely find women just that, like, I know sometimes people are like, oh, you can find any woman at a grocery store or anywhere you want. It's like, sometimes it's time and place. But if you got a friend group, something like that, maybe out of the friend group, maybe a new girl comes into the friend group. Ooh, y'all talking, you build a rapport like that from just talking, and they gauge and y'all see if y'all really, mess with each other and stuff like that. Not even on a dating tip. Just starting as friends. At least that's how I like to do it. Starting as friends. If y'all like each other and stuff like that. If y'all talk like that. And if y'all would be able to talk, by just amongst yourselves and stuff like that. But yeah, starting off like that, it just will be a better experience, in my opinion. But I don't think I have anything else on the matter on the dating apps and stuff like that. I just see there's a lot of tomfoolery going around, and men at least are not having too much fun. I don't know about the women. I'm sure a lot of them not having. They're picking the same guys a lot of the time, because every woman wants to miss the top 1%, miss the perfection. But even then, they got these super expectations, and they don't know how to communicate sometimes. And even when everything is sorta together with them, they might end up bailing just because they thought the grass was greener on the other side, on the other guy, the second guy she swiped on, not trying to stick it out. So yeah, I don't know. But let me know y'all experience with some of these dating apps in the comments down below or something like that. If I just want to hear what y'all got. It's my first time doing one of these rants. I'll probably get better, but I don't know if I'm gonna do this every day or what. This is my first one. Let's talk about the dating apps, stuff like that. I might talk about dating in general next time, or working out. I'm going to do a short on that, but yeah. Peace, love, subscribe if you like the video, if you like the topic and everything, and comment, like I said, down below about your experience. But thank you. I see ya.